Hello everyone, and welcome to a Replica Airguns Airsoft Rifle review. My name is Michael K, and today we're looking at the WE AK-74UN Gas Blowback Airsoft Assault Rifle. And this is the tabletop review. Now I have included a pre-test, so I will be showing you some shooting of this gun, just so I can get a little bit of an idea of how it performs. But there will be a follow-up field test or shooting review down the road, and I'll try to remember to put a link in here for you, so you can find that a little easier. Alright, so let's get right into the information on this gun. This is a replica of an AK-74U. It's made by WE out of Taiwan. It does come in your standard WE cardboard box. Nothing too exciting. Everything's kind of zap strapped inside when you get it. Can't really show you the whole box. It's just too much box to show you. And of course you get your sort of guide here, pamphlets, manuals and things. So this is more of an advertisement here. You do get this. Now, it says instruction manual, says for age 18 years and older, so you'd think that there'd be English inside, but there really isn't much. Other than the pictures, which do give you a pretty good visual idea of how it works, but other than the pictures, it's not really too much here. Okay, now it did come with, I believe, I can't remember, I just couldn't find it off the top of my head here, but I'm pretty sure it did come with a speed loader. I just can't find it, so I'm pretty sure that was included. Of course, it comes with the magazine. Alright, just go through there a bit. Now it also does come fully assembled, so there is no assembly required. Let's get into some of the specifications. Now this is an open bolt system with adjustable hop-up. It shoots 6mm plastic airsoft BBs. I'd recommend you shoot a little bit heavier BBs if you can, 0.25 gram or higher. This gun has super heavy, full cycle blowback action, so the bolt goes all the way back. Just like a real AK, which does make it cycle a little bit slower, but then again, so do AK-47s or AK style guns. They don't cycle really fast anyways. Now, this airsoft rifle holds 30 rounds in the gas magazine. Of course, the gas magazine holds the gas as well. It shoots in both semi-auto and full auto, selectable. Has an overall length of 19.7 inches with the stock folded. It weighs 6.9 pounds or 3,115 grams. Again, it uses gas, so green gas, propane, other types of gases. It shoots up to 400 FPS, but I found it shot a little bit hotter for me, so that's always a good thing. And it's a replica, again, of an AK-74U. Now this airsoft rifle is made out of lots of stamped steel. There's also some probably zinc metals and polymer construction throughout. Most of the polymer you'll find in the grips and the outer shell on the magazine. Other than that, this gun is steel or metal. And I'll be taking a magnet to this gun just to show you that. So let's talk a little bit about those steel parts right now. You can see here, this is a magnet, lots of steel all over this gun. Trigger assembly is not steel, it's probably zinc. The bolt is not steel, it's metal, so it's probably zinc. So the trigger assembly and bolt, I think, are pretty much the only real metal or zinc parts. Most of the rest of this gun is steel. Lots of steel. The stock, most of these pins obviously are going to be steel. So lots and lots of steel. I can't really overemphasize that. This gun has a lot of steel. That's a good thing. Okay, so let's do a quick look around at this gun. We'll start here on the right side. Again, steel lower receiver, steel bolt cover, steel selector switch, metal bolt. I'm just going to kind of cover this, then I'll show you how some of the operation works. Your polymer grips here, fully metal, steel shroud around your trigger assembly here. Your trigger is a zinc metal, but there are replacement parts for these guns because some people have experienced some of these zinc alloy parts wearing because there's such heavy blowback. We'll take the mag out for a second here. Just want to show you that. There is a plastic covering over it, but you can feel that there's a lot of metal in it. It's got good weight to it. Okay, metal butt plate there is where your CO2 goes in. Load your 30 BBs in the top, as per standard. Now this gun has this kind of interesting, I wouldn't call it a magwell cover, but it's a guide for your magwell, and it just helps you to guide that or insert the magazine into the gun. Your bolts. Interesting, this system here is kind of new. It's a modernized version. You wouldn't find this cutout normally on a real AK styled gun. and it just allows you to hold the bolt back, which is going to make adjusting your hop up a little bit easier. It's also got this little piece here so that you can literally use one finger, your trigger finger, to release the bolt if required. Okay, so again, polymer, metal, metal, steel, well, steel, 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 polymer, steel, steel, lots of steel. There is some zinc in here, but a lot of metal here. The shroud, and this is like a real 74 UN shroud, it's all steel, stamped steel, lots of steel. Very cool. I'm going to just show you this thing cycling really quick here. Why not? So release the bolt. Gonna kind of get back here and hold it light. Try not to hit too much of my camera gear here. Oh, I'm in full auto. Okay. Lots of kick. Back it up there. Full auto. Just a ton of kick on this gun. Alright, so let's flip it over here and show you the other side. Here is our, again, stamped steel folding stock. Very sturdy. There's no wobble in it at all. Now this part here is sort of a zinc metal as well, but the rest of this is fully steel. Okay, and this is for adding like a rail system for whatever you're going to have on there, red dot or magnified scope. Okay, this is sort of it's a hard plastic. It's not rubber. It kind of looks rubberized, but it's not. It's more of a hard plastic, but not a shiny one, which is nice. Again, this is for clipping the stock back on. I'll put it on for now because it kind of gets in the way right now for this. There's your sights. Take a quick look at them right now. Alright, this is adjustable. You can move it up and down. And then your rear. I don't really know if there's a windage adjustments for this gun. Not that I could see offhand. But it does shoot fairly well centered. I was shooting low, so I may use this adjustment to get it to shoot a little bit. Or I was actually shooting high, but I might use this to get it to shoot lower. So I'll probably make that go up a bit, so that the gun barrel will drop down when I'm shooting it, and will shoot a little lower. Now you have your bolt cover release there, and we'll just might as well shoot a couple rounds so you can see it. That's it safe. Getting a little low on propane here. Very cool. Let's take her apart for you. Why not? It's so super easy. Just goes up. Sorry, fumbling around with the camera here. So there's your guide rod and spring. Your bolt just comes back and up and out, and you're pretty much there. There's your trigger set. You can see it in there, and you'll see here, if I can get this to do it, you can actually, it's probably because there's nothing in there, but when the trigger comes forward, you can have it sort of lock. And what's interesting is the way the magazine works, and I'll show you that in a bit, is you can actually have the magazine so that the trigger locks for you. So on your last BB, the trigger lock will basically stop the hammer from hitting the firing pin area or the valve. And what's nice about that is you'll know when you're on your last shot, and then the bolt doesn't lock back, but you know when you've shot your last shot because you just can't pull the trigger anymore. Put it back together. Hard to do this on camera. There it is. And we're all good to go here again. Again, that's that. So I'm trying to remember how this works, but I want to explain it to you. This one at the bottom is the one that you have to reset. And what you do there is when you are in this mode, there you go. So I've got it in this mode. This will allow the actual magazine to indicate to the gun that you're out of BBs. And this one is what you use to reset when you load the BB. So what happens is if you're using it in this setting, when your gun is empty, this will go to the other setting and it won't allow you to shoot or to use the, it'll lock the back the hammer. So I believe it's got to be in the up position. I can't remember offhand which one it is, but it's got to be either in the up or the down position for you to be able to actually pull the trigger and have the hammer hit the CO2. If you're trying to pull the hammer and nothing's happening, or you're not able to pull the hammer, then you need to you need to switch it to the other one. So again, this one here is for allowing the gun to dry fire essentially, and this one here is sort of the hammer stop on the gun, so you know when you've shot your last BB. Hope I explained that well. It's a little hard to explain, but there we go. Okay, so hopefully that shows you most of it. I don't think I've forgotten anything. Very hefty gun, like I said, lots of good blowback feel, lots of steel, lots of metal, very little plastic in this gun. Only parts that I would be even remotely concerned about would be some of the zinc alloy parts, but there are kits you can get to replace some of those parts if you do experience any problems with it. Alright, so let's go to the pre-test shooting test and see how well this gun performs shooting through the chronograph, 5 rounds. Then I go back 30 feet from a rested or semi-rested position, shoot 5 rounds into the paper, see what kind of grouping we get, and then I'll unload the magazine with the last 20 or so rounds. Alright, let's head outside and do the pre-test. Alright everybody, I've got my WE AK-74UN Gas Blowback Airsoft rifle here. We're all set up to do my pre-test. Going to shoot 5 rounds through the chronograph, expecting somewhere in the neighborhood of 400 FPS. And then we're going to go back, I'm going to shoot probably 5 rounds in semi-auto and then unload the rest of the magazine. There's 30 rounds in this magazine, and we're going to just click the bolt back here, or forward I should say, and we're going to put 5 rounds through. And we are in semi-auto. 432, nice and high. 432 again. Lots of kick. Let you see that kick. 429, I think this is the last one. Yep. 428, very consistent. Really not too bad at all, nice and consistent. Now I'm gonna pull the stock back here. And I'm going to put just a couple rounds, maybe 1 round through the chronograph or through the target here. I'm not sure where I am on this target. I remember it was either shooting low or high when I tried it last. I don't want to put all my shots off the target, so we're just going to try 1 dead center and see where we're at. Got it in here? Oh, somehow I took it off, put it on safe, which is good, I guess. Okay, let's go see where I'm hitting, just so I know. Kind of bounced back at me. See, that's what I need to know. I'm going to shoot low. This is why I do these pre-tests, so I know what's going on. I'm going to shoot low on the target because I have a feeling it's shooting high. I'm going to shoot on the bottom of the target. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, that looks like it's on the paper now. So basically, I'll just show you where I was aiming. I was aiming for here, and it's shooting high. So could be a hop-up issue. There's really not a lot of adjustments I can make. A little bit here, I guess, I suppose. I'll have to play around with that. So I'm going to put another 4 rounds right where I was aiming before. Okay, let's take a look. Nice, okay. Nothing wrong with that. Look at that, 30 feet away, 1.5 inches approximately. Very decent. Okay, let's go full auto. Now, I'm just gonna stand right here. This is gonna be a little chaotic. I'm gonna do a mag dump. Hopefully we get through the whole thing. And again, I'm gonna aim a little bit on the low side. I don't know if I had the magazine set up to lock back. I think we're out. Yeah, you can set this magazine up to load or to lock back, so the bolt will lock back, but it is a setting on the mag, and I don't think I had it in that setting. So it's just made so right now so that I can shoot it dry. But you can set it up so that you can lock it back on the last round. All right, so pretty decent actually. Not bad at all. A little high, like I said. I'm sort of aiming around here, but it shot a bit high. Decent, definitely a nice group. And even though it's full auto, it's not like crazy full auto, just like a real AK. It's going to be a little slower, not a really high cycle rate, and that's kind of more true to the real AK with the long bolt travel. Alright, so let's head back inside and finish up this review. Alright, so my WE AK-74UN Gas Blowback Airsoft rifle performed rather well for me. Got some nice hot FPS through the chronograph using the .20 gram BBs right up into the 440 FPS range, so not bad at all. And when I got back to the 30-foot mark and shot from the semi-rested position, I got a nice approximately 1.5 inch group in semi-auto. Now when we opened it up and shot in full auto, of course it spread out a bit, but it did stay pretty well on target. Most of the rounds hit the target from 30 feet out. So you should have no problem shooting a human-sized target up to 50 feet, even in full auto. Alright, so let's talk about some of the pros and the cons. I love the full cycle blowback operation, much like a real AK style rifle, with good kick. A little bit slower cycle rate, but that's what you would expect on this full type of long travel bolt system. Now there's lots of stamped real steel in this gun, and of course metal zinc parts. And then of course you're going to have some plastic or polymer in certain areas. This is to be expected. I like that this gun shoots in both semi-auto and full auto and is selectable. Also has that kind of rather neat selector switch that you don't find on too many AK style rifles. More of a modernized, updated version selector. Again, this gun has awesome blowback. Really gives you the feeling of shooting a real gun. You can feel it in your shoulder. You can see the gun moving around. And it has a great snapping sound to it as well. It also field strips pretty much like a real AK style rifle. Of course, operation is very similar. I did get a nice high 400 plus FPS with a very respectable 1.5 inch 30-foot grouping with my 5 shots. Now this magazine had no problem getting through the 30 rounds even when I shot most of the rounds in full auto. So it has decent use of gas. And again, I like that modified selector switch. This is kind of unique, allows for one finger operation and bolt lock back if required. Has this interesting mag well guide, I guess you'd call it, to allow for slightly easier inserting of your magazines. Now this does come off if you wanted to, so if you don't like the look of this, you can take it off. Alright, let's talk about a few of the cons. Now the long travel bolt kicks so hard that it can wear the softer zinc alloy internal parts, so be aware of that. You may have to upgrade those parts at some point if you put heavy use through this gun. So I'm basically talking about the bolt and the trigger group. Those are the only parts that I've heard of that people are having any types of issues with. Now I found that the sights were a little bit off for me. It shot kind of high, and so I had to shoot a little lower or sight in a little bit lower. Now I may be able to adjust that down using the front post, so I'll see if I can do that for my actual field shooting test. Alright, so that wraps up this review of the WE AK-74UN Gas Blowback Airsoft Rifle. Hope you've enjoyed this review. Don't forget to subscribe before you head out. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Username is Replica Airguns. Also check out my associated post over at replicaAirguns.com. You'll find some additional photos there and sometimes some more information that I may have left out in this video. While you're at replicaAirguns.com, you can check out our Canada and US stores where we have airsoft guns, blank guns, BB guns, pellet guns, accessories, all kinds of stuff there for you. Thanks for watching another Replica Airguns video. Until next time, take care.